Hello, I'm Grand Commander 13, or GC13 if you prefer, and welcome to my tutorial for Prison Architect. This tutorial is a little bit ill-timed. It's coming right at the end of Alpha 11's life cycle, but I don't think they're going to change too much about what this tutorial will cover. What we're going to cover is how to start out your prison so that you get everything, all your needs covered, and you don't have riots right as soon as the prisoners show up. You'll notice I'm playing without the rooms having the checkered tiles. That's an option you can disable in your preferences.txt file. Don't worry about it. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to reports and go to grants, and we're going to accept some of our grants. First of all, we're going to accept the contract for the administration center because that's what we're going to take care of first. And since we know we're going to move right from that, going to also accept the basic detention center grant right here. You can accept all your grants right at the beginning. It doesn't really matter. I like to hold off on the ones that I'm not going to do right away so that I know I'll have the money to get them done. Health and well-being especially you'll want to hold off on because you will probably end up needing that to finance your workshop, which is something we will get onto later on. Another thing I cannot stress enough, the planning tool is brilliant. So, we're going to do our administration center first because we need to get our staff in. We need a warden to do pretty much anything. You can technically play the game without him. However, if you go down here, you'll notice the regime tab, which is very, very useful. Can't be accessed without him, nor can you access anything else without the people, or any of these without the people that he unlocks. The needs, especially, is very important, and we will probably end up getting our psychologist before we even start on the health and well-being grant, just because he is that helpful. So, we need offices to put these guys in. There are a couple ways you can do your offices. It doesn't really matter. One of the ways I like to do is just a long, skinny run of offices, and I happen to know exactly how big that needs to be. We're going to have a hallway here so the janitor can access the offices, and other than that, we're going to have 5 offices, each of which are 4 squares by 4 squares, and I cannot, for the life of me, recognize a square when I see it. This will be where we put the doors. We're just marking out these holes using the right mouse button so that I don't end up telling my workers to put walls there because they will build them. Note that you do need an entrance on every new foundation, so we're going to put a staff door there. You can put a normal door there because we're going to set this to be off limits to prisoners, so it doesn't matter whether prisoners can open the door or not. While they're working on that, I'm also going to lay out a power area here. I'm going to fence this in. Other people will use foundations. It doesn't matter. The power box is 3 by 3, but you're going to want to leave all of this space empty so you can surround it with capacitors. You can see once the foundation is done and the door is there, the building will pop in position. So, power station. And we get one for free at the very beginning. Why can't I put anything there? Oh, because... Oh, tree. I'm going to tell them to remove that while they're at it, and we're going to lay down this capacitor here and surround it with a fence. Again, we are going to put a staff door on this one, even though the prisoners are not going to be coming out here, and run some cable into the office. You don't need to run the cable all the way down. Power will propagate for some distance. Now let's get our warden in an office. First thing we're going to want him to research is the finance, not just to complete the grant. Now you'll note that the timer is not going down. That is because even though he is in an office, his office is not equipped. So we're going to give him a desk, a filing cabinet, and a chair, and we're going to go ahead and equip some more offices so that we don't have to keep doing this, because we're going to try to get our entire staff taken care of very quickly. You can control which office you want the person to go into by making that the only office available. For instance, I want my accountant right next to my warden because I think that looks cool. So we're going to make that the only office we have. Now, they're going to be taking care of the office complex. It's time to start with the prison proper. One of the more important things you need is your kitchen and canteen. So we're going to lay those down right here. This is going to be where our fridges are. This is going to be where our cookers are, which means our wall needs to go right here. I want this to be a little bit down. So we're going to put that there. Make sure that you have enough room in your canteen. Now I'm just going to mark out where I want the tables to go. You do not need to have your canteen fully sized right from the beginning, but you do have to make sure that you leave room for expansion. I am going to do this one larger than I really need. Right, actually I don't need this row, so I'm going to end the canteen there. And the way I'm designing this prison, we're going to expand southwards and north. Well, no, we're not going to expand northwards with it. I won't have the room. So you know what? Let's actually go ahead and make it a little bit wider, because I forgot I'm just running on a small map. And before I lay down a foundation, this will be the hallway that everybody comes in. Now, you'll see that for the grant, the first thing that it requires is a holding cell, and that is almost as important as the canteen itself. We're going to put it here, make sure that's at least 5. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my holding cell is big enough to put... Yes, it is big enough to fit 2 visitors' tables side by side and up and down. Because what we're going to do is we're going to build the holding cell just to clear the grant, and then we're probably going to end up removing it because I'm willing to bet that we will be able to get to this cell block A grant before our prisoners even show up. And we just need the holding cell to make sure that we have a place to put those guys. Now, another important room to have is you need to have some space set aside for storage. Storage can be anywhere. It doesn't have to be inside or fenced off or anything. You'll see as soon as I unpause it, it's like that is a valid storage area. And what that does for me is whenever I dismantle an object, rather than just leaving it there, the workman will take it and put it into storage so that you can use it again later. You can still dismantle stuff and use it again later, even if you don't have a storage area. However, they'll just leave it there and it looks really unsightly. We're going to order the workmen to lay a foundation, and you might think, GC, why are you putting a staff door there? The prisoners are going to escape. However, we're all going to fence this area off and put in a jail door that we are going to lock open so that our workmen do not require guards to let them in and out of the facility constantly. However, should there be a prison escape, and you will hear the prison escape going, there's a distinct sound when the prisoners start trouble, you can immediately hit the lockdown button. You'll pause, then you'll see what's going on, and if they're up here making a break for it, you can hit the lockdown button down here, and all the doors in your prison will lock, and they will not be able to break through that before the guards come and hit them in the head with their baton repeatedly. So, while that's going on, I'm going to plan, because I know I'm going to be able to finish this. My cell block, I want a hallway too wide, so that's going to be a door. I want it to be flush here, so I'm going to start here. Your cells have to be 2 by 3, meaning you come out 4 with your wall. You close it off there, and you'll see that is a 2 by 3 cell. This is going to be your standard cell design. Obviously, don't have to use it, but it's a fairly standard one now. What there is disagreement on is some people like to keep their cell blocks perfectly symmetrical like that. That's not how I build. I build like that just because I don't like the idea of these guys staring at each other from their beds, but this is completely me projecting the game. The prisoners do not care. And we are just going to it's auto-saving. We're just going to carry this on down for a while. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Good. We have a 16-man cell block, and this will be the showers. Right here. Showerhead, 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 showerhead. And something else we're going to do. The prison is not wide enough to go in private, but we're also going to install a few public toilets here, just so that they don't waste their time during morning shower time. Because when they wake up, they have to go to the bathroom, but they're also very dirty. So you send them to the shower, otherwise they'll whine about their hygiene. Some of them will go straight for the shower heads. You will actually see these toilets fill up. And because I do that, I can send them straight to the canteen after that in my regime, which I'm actually going to edit right now. You see they wake up at 6 in the morning. I send them for an hour of food, then I give them a couple hours, and I'm willing to bet I will actually have work for them at that point. Yard time. They can go to the yard during free time if they want. I don't use yard time. You can use yard time if you need to herd them somewhere. I will actually end up giving them more work time, but let's just get this taken care of right now, then we can figure out what we want our regime for. So, we're going to make our interior walls based off of what we planned. I'll give them an external door. Put a door there. You might be asking what this room up in the corner is going to be. That is going to be a common room. Common rooms are very important. Very often people will get their basics taken care of. They'll get their cell block, they'll get their showers, they'll have the kitchen and the canteen, you know, everything they think they need. But it turns out that their prisoners are very unhappy because they're bored and they miss their family. So that's what we're going to use the common room to take care of. You can also use your yard time to take care of those needs, but you don't have to put stuff in the yard or in the common room, but you have to put it somewhere. You can also put phone booths in the canteen. We will probably end up doing that. Let's go ahead and lay jail door down here, because I know I'm going to have time to get to my cell block. Let's give them a staff door here for cooks so that they can move their stuff. And we're going to lay down one fridge and one cooker. And notice that's 3 rotations on the cooker. You'll see that this is the front. If you only rotate it once, they will cook while standing in the wall. It's actually quite funny. I'm gonna lay down some electrical cable. Notice that the cookers and the fridges need to be powered directly, but they also come with their own power cables, so I'm just going to make sure that we have power cable adjacent to the cooker, and it goes from here into here, which is adjacent to the fridge, so it will also receive power. I have researched finance, so we're going to go ahead and hire our accountant. Now, hiring the accountant first is very important because you'll see this daily cash flow balance is 300 after I've hired my second administrative staff member. You can't go into a negative balance without having an accountant. So if I were to, for instance, hire 2 extra workers to speed up development, which you can do if you want, I wouldn't be able to do anything else. So let's see, what do I want next? Well, for prison labor, which we're going to get to very quickly, we need both deployment and prison labor research. So the next thing we're going to research will be either the chief or the foreman. We're going to go ahead with the chief, and I will want him to be in that's canteen office. In this office, just I'm going to put the psychologist here, and we are going to put the foreman here, and the foreman will, since he'll be our next guy, let's get him decked out. Again, I'm going to go in and put walls here. You do not need to put walls there. You'll see the offices are functioning just fine without them. Let's zone this holding cell. The holding cell will require a bench and a toilet. We're going to, again, put those in for no reason other than to get this checked off on a grant. It is not important. Never put in the water pump. There. Then we'll run some pipes. And large pipes, you can only run your small pipes so far, but I think we should be able to take care of this entirely with small pipes. Let's actually do that, because I'll just run the small pipes this way. It'll be easier. Let's see, toilet wants water. Actually, I do believe that the prisoners can use showers and toilets without them having water hooked up to them. I'm pretty sure that's a bug. I know it will work if the pipes are queued to go in. I have never tried it without having them at least queued up, but I'm willing to bet they can get a perfectly good shower from a shower head that has no pipes even planned to go to it. Now we also need a sink, because our cooks are... Oh, I didn't leave enough room there. You know what, we're going to go ahead and move these guys. You can dismantle them. If you dismantle it and do not dump it, you can actually reuse the item later. So we're going to go ahead and put in the sink. I should have made this one wider. Let's actually go ahead and put the sink here. And see, we have one cooker in our inventory. We're going to put that there, and we're going to put the fridge right there. And since I posed this, let's zone these two rooms, kitchen, and canteen. Want some water down here. You'll see in the utilities display, you'll see it flashing because, oh, that's why I have not been that stupid. I'm going to go ahead and toss another capacitor on here. Each capacitor gives you 1 bar of power up here, and you start out with 1 just because it's a power station. So, storage, canteen. The canteen requires a serving table. They will take it from this side, so you want the, you want the trays backed up there, and we're having 8 prisoners come in, and each table can seat up to 8 people. I like to have more seating space than I require. However, I have seen prisons that have significantly less. Okay, good. And you'll see my prison is actually coming along quite nicely. I've almost taken care of this. I have not put in a yard. That will be very quick and easy. You just have to fence it off. See, I'm not paying attention to my administrative staff. Check in researching deployment. And I want the foreman to be researched by my warden. We're going to go up here into grants. You see, I am ready to start on my cell block, and I still have a very large bank balance, but I get a $20,000 advance to work on this cell block. So we are sitting very pretty for money. We're going to lay down a foundation as an expansion. Now, if I were to make the foundation and I were to start by highlighting this wall, my workers would knock down the existing wall. I do not want them to do that, so I'm going to lay down my new foundation adjacent to my existing foundation, and what this will do is it will make it one big building, and they will keep the existing wall there. This is a hallway, 16-man cell block. You'll see I have a negative daily cash flow after hiring the second guy here. So I would not be able to do that if the accountant had been my first and my chief had been my second. I would be stuck. I couldn't hire anybody else until my 8 prisoners showed up. That would be the first I could hire my guards or my chefs. So We're hiring a foreman next, so he is going to be in this office. See, the office is ready to go. In building, you'll note that this jail door is stuck open. That's because we're in building mode right now. We have no prisoners. The game intelligently locks everything open for you. We want this to stay locked open forever. We're going to do that. And speaking of locking things open, I know I promised you guys a fence here. We're going to lock open that jail door as well, again, just in case anybody gets any idea about these escapes. We're going to be better than Stalag 13. There has never been a successful escape from Stalag 13. We're shooting for not even having an escape attempt. We're going to be just that good, and to prove that in Alpha 11 at least, your prisoners are kittens. If you take care of them properly, if you need more time, you can completely close your prison to inmates. See, we're not accepting anybody, your prison is closed to new inmates. We're going to take in 8 high-risk guys, just because we can. And, see, that's popped in. We're going to go ahead and put in a door to our common room, and a door to our canteen, and we're going to lay some cable. Pipe. Because that's where toilets are going to go. So again, we have 2 hours until they show up. We might as well hire our guards now, and hire our cooks now. You see in our daily cash flow is very negative. Again, without your accountant, you cannot go into negative cash flow. So it is very important that your accountant be the second staff member you hire immediately after your warden. She knows what she needs to do to get you guys the money on the loan. Now, this is going to be our common room. This is very important. Keeping your prisoners docile. Televisions will satisfy recreation and comfort. Phone booths will satisfy family. Pool tables also satisfy recreation. So they're very good. I like to put them in the yard, and speaking of which, I think I want to put my yard in right here. And the yard will just be where the prisoners go to exercise. Again, you can put in phone booths, televisions, pool tables out there. People will often put in public toilets. That is not a bad idea either. As soon as he puts this in, we're going to lock this open. Now, I was a little bit slower than I thought I'd be. If I had really hustled, I could have had cells ready for them. So the prisoners can get taken straight to the holding cells, and our regime tells us they're going to have free time. We're going to leave the work in there because even if you have no work for them to do, they will just go ahead and go on to free time anyway. So, see, they're getting to work on the fence that will enclose the yard, and prisoners will go to the yard and to their... I always laugh at people when they can't find stuff. Now it's my turn. Find the common room. They will go to the yard and to the common room during their free time. So these are maximum risk prisoners. Dark orange jumpsuits. If you're just starting with the game, I recommend starting with that. If your prisoners see an opening in your prison, such as a incomplete fence, they will immediately sense it and they will start an escape. As long as they have no feasible exits, they will just, like I said, as long as their needs are taken care of and they have no obvious exits, they will be as to you. Go ahead and drop in a couple weight benches here. Prisoners will sometimes use them. They don't really seem to use them that much. But other than that, we are going to start taking care of our bedding situation. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I can already hear you asking, aren't you going to put walls in? No, you actually do not need to put walls into your cells. You can do a completely open plan jail. that will be completely effective. You can see I'm planning to put walls in. They're very expensive, though, and I certainly have the money, but I just want to get these guys transferred from this holding cell to the individual cells as quickly as I can. Like I said, I did more work than I needed to. It is entirely possible to have your normal cell block ready to go for your prisoners. And one of the downsides of doing an open plan prison is you have to designate each cell individually. If there were walls separating these, I could just pull it down the line and it would say, okay, those are obviously individual cells. If I were to do that, you see, it thinks that's one giant cell, and no matter how many beds I put in there, they will only try to put one prisoner in there. So, see, these guys are ready to go, and since that was the floor on our wall, since that's taken care of, we're going to go ahead and get these walls in here so I can put jail doors on them. Now, these prisoners are going to be good to me, but I do not believe in running my prison on the honor system. I'm sorry. It's just how I operate. Didn't hear that thing. See, they get that taken care of very quickly. Remember, I have 10 workmen. You start out with 8. Do not need to hire additional workmen, but I promise you, once you get your cash flow going, you're going to be doing most of your building at night because you're going to have a workshop, and your workmen are going to be very busy during the day moving stuff in between the workshop. Now you see I put these cell doors on. They're locked open right now because the prisoners are allowed to be doing whatever they want, so they're opened automatically. If I were to set it to nothing, so the prisoners are expected to be locked in their cells, you'll see it shut automatically. I do not want them locked in there. I never use nothing. Again, that's good if you need to be doing building during the day. Like if I needed to knock this fence out and expand it, I would do nothing, so that I would set my regime to nothing so that my prisoners would be locked in here. They will, however, get very bored if you do that. Fog of War in Alpha 11 is enabled by default, so even if you tell it not to, it'll enable it. You have to edit your save file. That's very easy to do. You can search for it. It's just changing a true to a false, and it's very high up in the text file, so it's easy to find. Now we got the basic detention. Oh, we have not built our shower yet. I want to clear this grant. You do not need the shower until it's shower time. It's actually I do not have psychology, so we're going to go ahead. I want to see what their needs are at. You'll see right now if I hover over them, it has no idea. The only way you will know what their needs are is if it's actually bad enough for them to be complaining about it. And if it's bad enough for them to be complaining about it, you definitely want to do something about it. Let's get some shower heads in here. I'm tempted to test whether we actually need pipes, but no, I'm not the kind of guy to exploit bugs like that, so we're gonna pretend that we need plumbing, and we're going to run some pipes here anyway. It's not like power where you mosey up to it. You actually have to get drains. This is wider than I wanted it to be. Why didn't anybody tell me this? And don't tell me this is a recording, that's no excuse. You guys should have said something anyway. Okay, so hopefully you'll make better use of the planning tool than I did there, but it's no big deal. And oh look, shower's taken care of. Anyway, drains. The drains are really weird right now. See? Yeah, he's using one without water. And you can't see because I don't have psychology, but I assure you, his hygiene need is going down. He is getting that taken care of. Oh, bacon. That's too good for my prisoners. I always set the meal variety to low. You'll see that does a number on the cost per prisoner to feed them. I keep the meal quantity medium. That gives each prisoner 2 things of food to eat during every meal time, and they really like that. And okay, we're still plumbing. Oh, you'll see I tried to run my small pipes a little bit too long. I milked it a little bit much. Again, if I wanted to exploit a bug, I hear I could just lay a large pipe there, but I am not that kind of gentleman. So we're just going to fix our plumbing problem the old-fashioned way. We're going to lay some new large pipes in there. We're going to get our water running to our toilets, no problem. However, that means I can dismantle those, and I'll leave those and just run all the way around there and take care of all 6 of the toilets. And again, the prisoners are completely fine with using these toilets, even though they're right here around everybody. If I had a larger shower, I would actually give them an enclosure anyway, because, you know, my prisoners are going to be good to me, I'm going to be good to them. Now, we've taken care of all of our basic needs. We are going to want to expand this prison block so we can get our $10,000. However, we're going to have dirty prisoner uniforms. So, why don't we build a laundry? And we're also going to have very dirty rooms. So, we're going to make this a cleaning closet. You can have up to 4 employees in your cleaning closet or laundry, or up to one for every 4 square meters. I want the cleaning closet to be a little bit bigger than that. That will be my cleaning closet, and this will be my laundry. The laundry does not need to be that big. If you have more than 3 or 4 people assigned to your laundry, they're just going to stand around doing nothing. Even if you have just 3 or 4 people assigned to your laundry, they will stand around doing nothing, but what can you do? So, we're going to help them to lay a foundation here, and I do not want them to knock down these cell walls, because then I will just have to go and put them back in. Objects, entrance. So we're going to keep the existing walls, and I think that is everything on my checklist once I get the laundry and the cleaning closet in, and we will be set to think about our workshop, because right now the only way that you can do your... Oh, we need prison labor and be ready in 6 hours. I should have researched that earlier. We're going to go ahead and research health. It's for the grant we're going to be doing later to get a little bit of money. Let's go ahead and get our site. I forgot to put the form in. Okay, now we can get our psychologist, and we can get inside our inmates' heads a little bit. And see, we have a full administrative staff. There is also a lawyer, but as we can read down here, he currently serves no purpose. I researched riot guards. Why did... Oh, I had already researched deployment. Okay, so that's $2,000 lost to the research ferry. They don't do anything right now. We're just gonna... Our guards are gonna be really hardcore then. Oh, I forgot we were keeping that wall. Okay, so we're gonna have a gigantic cleaning closet, which is good. I like to employ lots of prisoners there because I like to keep the place spick and span. Cleaning cupboard, and that is locked until we get prison labor research. So we're just going to put in the walls here because we need to be able to assign prisoners to these, and it has to be a zone with 4 walls and a door. Otherwise, it does not think it is its own zone. It is its own zone, and you can't assign prisoners there or anything. See, I go to deployment. Canteen and kitchen do not have a door, so if I have an assigned guard, they got the whole zone. If I want to be able to tell my guard, you really don't need to go into the kitchen, I'll do what I should have done a long time ago and put a staff door in there. And somebody's there he goes. Somebody's going to take care of that for me. See, you'll notice prisoners are asleep already. I'm actually going to put into that cell block. They were asleep a little bit before it was sleep time because it was free time and it was getting pretty late, so they took care of that. Under deployment, I can now set permissions for the kitchen. I don't want anybody going in there. And again, if I assign a guard here, it's just the canteen, but it's neat there. And let's go ahead and finish this. I don't need to pause it. I pause habitually. Other people will never pause. It's just how you play. Let me get my prison door in here so I can... You know, these guys are high risk, and I'm always going to treat them that way, even though you'll see they haven't caused me any trouble yet, but I still like to be able to assign a guard to patrol the showers in the morning because that is when they are at their most angry. See, his hygiene needs are already very high. Needs. Hygiene. Look for there being some red in here by the morning. These guys are all about their morning shower, and they get very grouchy if they don't get it, but if you don't force them to the shower, they might decide to go and fulfill some other need, so you have to wake them up and tell them to get to the shower. I once tried to do it by just giving them free time in the morning, but even though nobody needs any more sleep, these guys like to sleep in. Who doesn't? I can't blame them for that. I'm not that kind of guy. Let's lock this if it doesn't need to be shut anyway. And we're going to go ahead and see. This is the advantage. 4 individual cells, and selection. You see, if I click on rooms, this is what it'll look like for you all the time with the checker pattern. I have disabled render rooms. I really wish that it would remove the discoloration as well, but you know, we can't all get everything we want. So, under bureaucracy, I'm good for prison labor. I'm good for deployment, which means I can finally put these buggers to work. We're going to zone this as a laundromat. I'm going to put in a door. And see, the door's not in, so I can't. Let's put the walls in. Put the walls in. Cleaning cupboard should be its own zone. Maybe once the laundry door goes in, fine. There we go. So I go to jobs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. And the cleaning cupboard guys will run around, and you see this mess building up. They'll take care of that for me. Laundromat. The laundry does require some stuff of its own. Laundry. See, if you're in a room, it'll tell you what you need. Ironing board. They will always use the left side of the ironing board, so you go ahead and make it so they won't be standing in the wall. If you're like me, that'll really annoy you. And let's get some benches with clean uniforms on. And my guys will take care of that. We have 8 more prisoners arriving in the morning, and we have 8 more cells ready to take them. We have a shower. We have a yard. I think it is time for us to put in our workshop. Now, I can't put the workshop here. That's for expanding the canteen if necessary. The workshop maxes out at 20 employees at 240 square meters. So, we're going to keep the existing wall. We're going to take it down here. I want this to be 12 meters of workshop plus a wall. And then we're going to take it out here. I want this to be 20 meters of workshop and 2 walls. Actually, you know, we're going to take it down 1 more because I've built many workshops before, and I know that this will give me the proportion I want, but that is purely for aesthetics. I'm going to take in a building here. Again, I'm going the extra 2 out, so I have a hallway. And we're going to put in the large jail building. Now again, if you were running short on money, you would have gone here to grants, and you'll see we kept this in reserve. $10,000 advance. And we're going to go ahead and we're not going to do it right now. Tomorrow night, while the prisoners are asleep, we're going to knock out this fence. We're gonna... Actually, we can do this without annoying our prisoners. We can go ahead and expand our prison. No, we'll go ahead and do it, because if I were to do it now, it would not build the outer wall. If I were to lay it down like this, it would keep the fence. I want to knock the fence out before... Oh, it's morning. One here, and one here. Again, I'd like to have a guard patrolling the shower, just in case anybody gets out of hand. But these guys are a bunch of kitty cats. They're not going to hurt anybody. See? Moderate hygiene and exercise needs. He's got to go, so that'll be the first thing he does, I'll betcha. See, nobody has any needs in capital letters, and the only red need we have right now is hygiene. These guys are all moving out to take care of that. So, let's see what we do. Oh, see? I told you. I told you the toilets would fill up, and they did. These guys have needs. They got to do what they got to do. And see, nobody's starting any fights. So we're gonna take everything put in there. I like to always have vision on the cell block, so I always keep a guard here. Or again, okay, you see, that's going to get expanded at some point, but it doesn't really matter because we don't have enough prisoners to run a full workshop anyway. So we're gonna hire some staff because we're gonna hire one more guard. With the workshop, we're going to put in enough to have 8 guys employed. So you see, that'll be tables, free space, and we're going to start here. So if we're going to employ 8 guys, we need 4 of these, 4 of these. Now, you wonder why am I putting them in this exact configuration. I'll show you in a moment when we go to utilities. However, these guys eat a lot of power. 5 of them will eat up 1 capacitor, and I only have 1 capacitor free. And last time I checked, 8 divided by 5 was more than 1. We're going to go ahead and put in 3 more capacitors, just so I don't have to worry about power for a little while. See, up here, 8 eyes means 8 prisoners have eaten already. A green dot, or 8 green eyes means 8 have eaten already. 1 green dot means, or a green dot means that somebody's in the process of eating, and up that red eye means they are hungry. That's what it's trying to tell me anyway. I'm going to free up all of my that's what I forgot. You should remember to put in metal detectors here. If I had been more on the ball, I would have had metal detectors right here, right from the beginning. Prisoners, always, 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 you're always going to have at least 1 guy have... Let's watch the prisoners and see who has contraband. They will sometimes... It'll show them holding it very briefly. Every so often. And that is a pain, which is why you just use your metal detectors, which require direct power, so we're going to run cables that run directly onto them, just so we don't have to worry about that. And I like to have my metal detectors at the cell block because the prisoners pass by there several times each day. Other very good places to put it would be the canteen. Let's take care of my jobs here. No, wait, I don't want more people there. Ugh. You see, it's so hard doing a tutorial because I'm so busy explaining, but I'm not doing it. I should have taken care of this much earlier. Oh, and... Okay. You move so that I can access this door. Lock it down. And, again, it doesn't detect this as a zone. There are going to be 20 people working in here. I just want to get this viewed as a zone so I can assign people to it. And here's what I was talking about. This is why we have it in a row. They come with their own power cable. So I can take care of the entire workshop, because I'm going to expand it 2 more columns here, with a single column of power cables, if I do it right. Oh, see, that is the sound it makes when somebody sets this off. A red light will go on, and you'll see it is already queued up somebody to search him. We'll try to check back at him and see what he was carrying later. Now, see, it says I have 1 family waiting to visit, so I'm going to, at some point, dismantle that and turn that into visitation, but right now I'm more focused on making a bit of cash. So, it has a door, it has walls, it should be... Yes, it is. It is a zone now. Oh, but I don't have power. We'll check back with that later. That is the one problem with this design. They want to clean that spot, and the guards will let them. Now, you'll notice they didn't make a break for it when they saw it locked open, because the jail door is regarded as a barrier no matter what, but it makes me very uncomfortable to have them in that short spot. So once Alpha 12 rolls around, which should be in less than a week by now, this area I'm going to set to be off limits to prisoners. I will do what I did here, and I would render it staff only. However, that's not a good idea right now, because these guys, they will serve their sentence at a rate of 1 year every 1 in-game day. And once that happens, they want to leave the prison naturally, because they've served their sentence. And they will not leave if they cannot find a general population route out. If it's staff only, they'll sit there. That's going to be fixed in Alpha 12, which should be any day now. Somebody else. Oh, see, what were you carrying? He was carrying a mop. I don't know how they smuggle some of this stuff in. Watch the contraband after your guard takes it off of the prisoner, because you'll see how he moved there and he turned it into a garbage bag. That's called dump equipment. They will not always do that right away, and prisoners will see it and they will crowd, they want it. And if the prisoner is, like, say, searched immediately after getting into their cell, they will be placed on lockdown immediately, and the contraband will be right there next to them. Their door will lock shut, and prisoners will actually crowd around outside their door waiting to get at it. And when the guard goes to dump it, he'll open the door, the prisoners will often beat him to it, and the guard will do nothing about it. Then they'll run right off through the metal detector and get searched themselves. So these guys are on laundry detail. This should be a zone. I'm willing to bet it's because of this wall right here. I'll fix that. So my guys are hanging around in storage. Tonight we'll get to the infirmary, and then I think the tutorial will be done, because as you can see, I have maximum security prisoners, and half of them think they're well treated. None of them have any serious beefs. Nobody's tried to escape, nobody's come to punch at anybody. I mean, even your highest risk prisoners are going to be very easy to deal with if you plan ahead a little and you make sure that their needs can be met. Let's see, we're going to deployment, and now it's, no, darn it. Okay, it just doesn't like me, and there's nothing I can, oh! Again, I'm stupid. This is why I cannot assign anything told me, instead of letting me make a fool out of myself, but there we go. Now I can assign jobs, and this is your money maker. You'll see we're making $440 a day from having prisoners in, because prisoners have expenses. These metal plates have expenses too. You spend $3 for every metal plate, and 1 metal plate will turn into 3 license plates that will then, 1 metal plate, 3 license plates, $30. So once you get a workshop humming, you can probably get about $10,000 a day in revenue from it. So that means you're spending about $1,000 on metal plates. So a total of $9,000 in profit a day from 1 workshop. I will caution you, if you put in a second workshop, like if we were to, say, go to bureaucracy and research land expansion here, and then spend $20,000 to get a new plot of land down here. If we were to expand the workshop down there, they would have to be right next to each other, because right now prisoners will move back and forth between workshops. It's very inefficient, and that is the same reason why you actually do not want multiple canteens and kitchens. The cooks will go back and forth, and they will not spend any of their time cooking. I'm going to go ahead and put in a second cooker once this autosave finishes. And a second fridge. You don't really need to get very many serving tables. This light doesn't have power. The electrical cable is propagating just not far enough. I think that will take care of my cooker. That'll probably fix the problem. Now, we're on an awful lot of free time right now, so why don't we put in a second shift of work? Let's guard that. And you'll see my guys are going to work right now. The regime is very important for you as a player to use. Like, I could very feasibly put in a 10-hour solid block of work, and some days that would be fine. Other days it would be halfway through, and I'd go to my needs report and see that there were several people who had critical family and recreation needs, and that my danger level was actually so high that there was a single asterisk up there. One asterisk is still low, I think 2 is still low. Once you get up to 3, you're in medium. Right now it's so low there isn't even 1 asterisk. That's really good. I forgot to put tables in here. We're going to stack this stuff on. And you see every hour while we're working, we have a truck come in with more sheet metal, and that is why your workmen will eventually be very busy during the day. I just completely forgot what I was talking about. I'm just getting old. These things happen to me, I'm years old as I am. It's free time right now. That wasn't much of a work day, but let's see. We got 19, 40, 43, 61. So that'll be $610 coming in. That's respectable. And we're going to go ahead and plan to put in an infirmary. Yeah, we're going to keep the hall up here. And that's plenty big for the infirmary. Yeah, we are not going to actually need the infirmary in this prison. Again, we've taken care of their needs. We know that we need to watch the regimes. Sometimes they can work longer than other days. 2-hour break in the middle. And I'm not going to be a slave driver. They're going to work an 8-hour day with plenty of break time, and they're not going to give me any trouble at all. 8 more prisoners coming in. I really should plan for that too. Let's see, how long is this cell block? 13. We're going to do it 12. We're not going to make the same mistake we made last time. And we can either have a huge infirmary or figure out some other thing to do with that. So, hallway, cells, shower. And you see, sleep time, everybody's going back to their cells, and this is when it is safe to start knocking down fences. However, I did promise you that we would be done after we got the workshop up and running. So, you'll see, we have, well, let's see if we can, we'll go ahead and see if we can get this done in time. We might not be able to accept those 8 prisoners. One thing to note, that on larger maps, oh, never mind, I don't need that. That on larger maps, you will have always, no matter how big the map is, you'll always receive at least 8 prisoners if you opt to receive 570 and 40 It'll sell a few license plates off before it gives you all your other grants, but for the most part, that top number you see will be it. We'll see if we can accept these prisoners in time. You'll never receive less than 8 if you elect to receive more at all. Your maximum is determined by your map size. Since this is small, I believe I can receive no more than 16 at a time, and if at any time I feel I can't accept more since I do not have continuous intake on, I can simply say we are closed to new inmates, but I think I could have a chance at laying down some cells at least. I do not need materials, I need pins. And that's still a holding cell. I have not changed that visitation. I've been distracted by other things. I think we have time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2. 1. Should be popping in any time. There you go. And again, we don't need walls, so going to lay down 4 beds, 4 toilets, and then all these cells. I don't know why I start out with it rotated perfectly, and I decide to mess it up. And these will be the places you take the prisoners to when they arrive. And again, we're getting more guys in, and another cell block to keep watch over, so we're going to put in... Oh, and this time, you know what? I am not going to forget the metal detectors. Some more utilities laid in. And you know what? Just for symmetry. I know, this is how I could have done it if I was planning ahead, if I had read Fallout 2. Not the Fallout 2 was bad or anything, it just didn't light my fire. I'm strongly for New Vegas. That's me. And we're gonna go ahead. You see? See? I'm stupid. I forgot to demolish this fence. And I don't have to demolish it. I can just build a brick wall straight over it, and my prisoners will never be wiser. However, that means they lack a yard right now. That's not going to make it. I will not. You know what? I will actually put time in the regime specifically so I can give them the yard. Again, I'm using nothing so that they will go back to their cells. And I really wish I could say, okay guys, you can ignore this, I have a more important project, but, you know, see, I don't have a guard out there watching them. That decreases their threat level. That means they're less likely to make trouble if you have a guard watching them, and if you're listening, you're just hearing the sound of water. You're not hearing any alert or anything. So these prisoners are very polite. They sound an alarm when they start making trouble. They're very good to me. This is, like I said, this is a pitifully small yard. I don't think that would make me very happy. So that is why I have scheduled 2 hours for my workmen to go out there, take this fence down, and make a better one. I can actually start making a better fence now. I'll have to wait. And eat. It's time for all the little prisoners to be in their cells. And now that that's taken care of, I can set the wall establish order and safety. Trav, dude, I'm looking at you when I say this. See? 8 more prisoners and 8 more coming tomorrow. We definitely have the facilities to accept them. Where is my other guard station? Oh. I'm really hoping that guard scheduling goes in at some point, because I always manually set my guard to watch the workshop during the day, and sometimes I will forget to take him off during the night. And it doesn't matter to the prisoners, it matters to me. We're going to lay some grass down. And since the grass gets nasty if you don't take care of it, we're gonna research a gardener. And you'll see at this point our bank balance is becoming very low, but that does not mean we run on the honor system here. So I'm gonna let these suckers in. That was the sound of somebody about to get searched. Let's see what you're carrying, buddy. Hacksaw. That's not cricket. It is not cricket at all. And we're going to need a bit more money, because we're going to want to expand this now that we have enough people to feed it. So we're not going to waste money on the wall for the infirmary. Just going to put in 1 medical bed, 2 doctors, and we are going to zone it infirmary. And oh look, as soon as that medical bed goes in, we'll get $10,000. It'll be more than enough to get our workshop almost completed. More than enough to almost do the job. He's actually trying to work after the infirmary. Seven, 10, 18. Oh, this is my cleaning detail. Yes, do not forget to do this. Set your offices staff only. Set that staff only. Otherwise, your cleaning crew wants to go out here too. So, now these guys. Okay, so yep, he got away. Don't be stupid and set it to staff only. I very often forget to do that, but usually I spot it before then. I blame you guys for not warning me. It's my fault. I really should have. And this guy's just going to sit here until I build a solitary confinement, and I am going to do that right now. Toilet, space room to sit in, and hope you like concrete, buddy. Okay. Might as well demonstrate how sanitary works. I'm not going to actually put the toilets in. I'm just gonna leave room for them. So again, set your office complex to staff only, unless there is a safe path for the prisoners to get there. Otherwise, you saw what will happen. Again, as soon as they're past that jail door, it is not a barrier to them anymore. It is a magical, it's an invisible line in the dirt right now that they will not cross. But they are very crafty. And you know what I'm gonna do for my because there's no door yet. You know, I could have set that to be an unlocked ward so that they can get out. I like to keep my solitary unlocked because nobody's ever going in there anyway. And you can set, like I could set all the doors in this cell block to stay unlocked no matter what. Like if there were no prisoners in there and they weren't designated as cells, so the jail doors were set closed by default. And oh look, as soon as it sees solitary, he's moving this guy to solitary. Escort prisoner to solitary. Quite some time. A couple hours. You see the store's bugged. It doesn't like to shut. Hopefully that gets fixed. So, before I make any more embarrassing oversights, I think I'm going to call this a day. I made a very efficient prison for you guys to sample out, but for me forgetting to set some areas as off-limits to prisoners. Again, once this is off-limits, this is the only problem square they're going to want to clean that, but they're not going to want to clean this, and I really should hire a janitor for that, while I'm thinking about it. He'll take care of the stuff on the Now, again, this is far from the only prison design that will work. There are... Let me actually show you an example of an outdoor prison, because I prefer to build prisons that are mostly indoor only, but that is far from the only way to do it. You'll see I designed this prison to be maximum security in nature, but also I wanted... It's a lot easier to expand when everything's outdoors. You see, I don't have to worry about that. And look at that. Look at that. I really like the way the mosaic flooring looks. You can see how it looks when it's not filtered by the canteen. I do not like the metal floor. Note on flooring, since I brought it up. Paving stone, walk fast. Dirt, walk slow. If your workmen are following a path a lot, you want them to move quickly, not slowly. So you're going to go ahead and you can use paving stone, you can use concrete tiles. Stone is medium, grass, gravel, dirt, slow. Road medium. So you use paving stone, or you use... This is what concrete tiles look like. Indoors, metal floors are fast. I think ceramic is only medium. It's very expensive. I just did it just because. Yeah, that's normal. This is normal. Concrete floor is what you get by default. It's fast, so the only reason you're doing stuff, other floor tiles, is for looks. Mosaic is fast. You can read what they are. I don't have to read that for you. See, this is what the concrete tiles look like. When I designed this prison, I gave them a metal detector right at the front, and I went ahead to decide to be belt and suspenders and put a metal detector there. Now the reason I designed these cell blocks like this is for the closed circuit television cameras. It can only go yay squares out. So you can either do that, or another design I had was this would be mirrored over here, and you would have your entryway. This would be your cell block, ends wherever. And this would be a common room with phone booths and televisions lining the walls. The phone booths have spare hallway space for them to access. They will walk over a guy who's on a phone to get to this one here, and this guy's here on TV, this here on TV, this here on TV, it's fine. You don't need the hallway space. So you can tuck a common room right into here if you make this a double cell block. See, they come around back for their showers, the guards are watching, everybody's going to do as they can. And again, this is a maximum security prison with everybody's bored. That's probably why I had this regime set up for all the extra free time. So before dinner, everybody's running off. Let's look at what they're taking care of. Oh look, lots of people are hitting the common room. And you'll So you see I have a closed circuit television camera that can't see the people in there. That is a bug. It happens. They're there. I can send a guard in. Well, I could send a guard if I had it. Anyway, they're in there, and you'll see their family and recreation needs are getting taken care of quite handily. See? Fast tiles. Anyway, I have gone plenty over what I planned to show you guys. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Thanks, and let me know if it worked for you, and if you have any suggestions, because I do plan on doing another tutorial once Alpha 12 comes out, because we're expecting cell searches to be in there, and prisoners will actually steal contraband rather than just starting with it here at the gate. So that should be interesting. For instance, I saw in one of their live streams that they'll be able to get stuff from your offices, or knives from the kitchen. Everybody knows about that, and we don't want them to do that. So I'm really looking forward to any new considerations Alpha 12 brings. Also, I'm kind of hoping that they get the tunneling in, because this would be a very bad idea if tunneling were here, because they would just come one cell out, and look, it's dirt all the way to the exit, and it's not very far to the exit. If tunneling were in here, I would not have used this layout. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment, subscribe, and happy building. This has been GC13. I'm out.